Hi boys and girls, welcome back to a video that we have for you today that has to do with language and a little bit of spelling. I want to talk to you about homonyms and homophones as well, okay? But I want to start by talking a little bit more about verbs today, and you're going to start seeing something new this week in your seat work. And I want to talk about verb tenses, and I'm going to explain that today. And then you're going to practice it a little bit in your seat work this week, okay? Now, your book says this definition, and it says verbs that tell us about something that has already happened are called past tense. We make most verbs past tense by adding ed. And then it also goes on to say, sometimes we change the spelling to make the verb past tense. And I'm reading these in page 294 of your seat work this week. And I want to talk a little bit more about verb tenses. Okay, so I want you to look on the board with me. And I wrote here what the word tense is. And tense means a time of action, when the action takes place. Okay, so verbs can be used in different tenses because there's actions that happen in the past, they're happening in the present, and of course things that are going to happen in the future. And we use verbs in all tenses, and it's important for us to know what we need to do to make them sound correct and to write them correctly. So let's look at these arrows. We have past tense, present tense, and future tense. We're going to start with the present tense. That means today, right now. And my sentence is, today I took a walk. The verb is the word walk, and that is in present tense because that is happening now. Now, if we were to look at the past tense of the verb, and let's go back this way. And of course, we can say yesterday, we can say last week, we can say last month, anything that is in the past, we say it in a different way than when we say a present tense. And the sentence I have is, yesterday I walked to the park. Did you notice what changed in the verb? I'm going to go ahead and underline the verb. Did you see the change between present tense verb walk and past tense verb walked? If you said that we added an ed, you were correct. Usually when we make a word, a verb, past tense, we usually add a d or an ed, okay? We're not going to see much of future tense in second grade, but I want to share it with you so that you know more. Future tense is something that we say that is happening in the future, tomorrow, next week, next year. And we can say a sentence like, tomorrow I will walk to the store. Now, the verb walk is in there, but there's something very important in front of it, and it is the word will. That is showing us that it is a future tense. So this week in your work, you are going to be writing the past tense. So we're going to be focusing a lot on past tense in your seat work. We want to be able to write words in present tense and in past tense. Okay, so you're going to be practicing that. Now there's something else that makes language and English more interesting, and they are called irregular verbs. And this is more like a third, fourth grade thing that I'm showing you, but I know you guys are really smart, and the more you know, the better you will be at things. So I want you to look at the word irregular. That means not regular, and I see the word regular in here. So these are not going to follow the rule that follows up here where we add an ed. We have to totally just change the word sometimes to make it past tense. For example, today I am going to eat a hamburger. We can't say yesterday I ate a hamburger. We cannot add ed to that word. It doesn't make a word. We have to totally change the word. And we say, yesterday I ate a hamburger. Another example is blow. Today I will blow out the candles. Last year I blew out the candles. Today I am going to catch the ball. Yesterday I caught the ball. Today I will find my shoes. Yesterday I found my shoes. Now these are just a few of many irregular verbs, but it'll take you time to be exposed to all of it, to start reading and writing all of these verbs automatically. And I think some of you are already doing that a little bit. So the more you read, the more you write, the more practice you will have with present tense verbs, past tense verbs, and of course the irregular ones. So it's just something that we have to keep learning by reading and writing, and you're going to get better at it. So this week when you practice it, look carefully at how you're changing the word to a past tense verb. I know you can do it. Now we're going to play a little game. We are going to decide if something needs an adjective or an adverb. So it takes a little bit of thinking before you can make a decision. I always told my second graders, whenever there is a question asked, whether it's in class, by a person, or on a piece of paper, it's really important to stop to think first instead of right away raising our hand and giving the first answer. Sometimes we have to think about what we know so that we can get the answer it wants us to tell it. So let's look closely at the words that I have written on the board. And first of all, let's think. What is an adjective? Remember, an adjective describes what kind of words? Nouns. And what are nouns? PPT, person, place, or thing. See, do you see how I'm writing down the thinking that we're supposed to be doing when we're working on any type of work? We have to stop and think, well, what do I know about an adjective? Well, it describes nouns. And what are nouns? A person, place, or thing. Then we have adverb, and let's stop to think. An adverb describes a verb. And what is a verb? It shows action. It is a word that shows action. And of course, all of this is all about words, all about reading and writing and knowing how to communicate better. Okay? So now that we did some thinking, let's go ahead and either add the word that describes the dog, whether it's adverb or adjective, a word that describes the action crying, a word that describes a pencil, the action singing, and a nurse. So what I want to do first is here I threw in both nouns and verbs because it says to use an adjective or an adverb. And of course, it's really important that we look at the words that we have and decide, well, is it a noun? Does it need an adjective? Or is it a verb and it needs an adverb to give it more description?